last time we interviewed Tyler, who is a current member. Technically, he's still in the church, and that interview ended up, wasn't long enough to finish the full thing, and so we kind of cut it off in the middle of that, and we wanted to do a part 2, and so we have Tyler. Again, we're going to just continue the conversation with him. Again, he's still a member in the church. Tyler's not his real name, as we talked about in the last video. He's asked to keep his name confidential. And so that's something that's significant that's coming up for multiple members contacting us that, again, is kind of says something about the church, that members have to fear the different persecution and the response of how the World Mission Society is going to react to them leaving the church or speaking out against the church. They have to fear in such a way that they got to hide their names. And so that's something that, doesn't reflect the church that Jesus Christ established. You can see Paul telling believers, don't sue each other, don't go to court with one another. And he says, just accept being wrong because God's the one that's going to judge and things like that. But that's not the way the World Mission Society, Church of God, functions, and so Tyler, again, he wants to hide his name for various reasons, but members are wanting to hide their names, hide their identity because of fear, in large part of what the retaliation might be from members or from the church itself. And so I just think that's significant, something I wanted to point out. But without further ado, Tyler, thanks for coming back. Thanks for being willing to continue this conversation.
It's no problem, man. Switch my sweater.
Yeah, we went a little long that last time. I didn't even really notice how much we had been talking until after I checked the video length.
It honestly only felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it did. It flew by fast.
I just got off of Fortnite. I told my friend I'll be right back, and I went to go.
That's awesome.
See if he was still there, and he was like, not there, and I was like, oh my bad.
This is better than Fortnite, right?
Yeah, this is relieving, honestly.
Yeah.
Back, I just wanted to real quick touch on something that you just stated to the viewers. In like I said in the prior, I don't speak for no one else. I speak to myself. I don't know what they're capable of, because in my church, 95, no, that's a lie. About I want to say more than 75% of them are, no, that's a lie too. About 50% of them are young, black, African-American men who I would not underestimate.
Yeah.
Period. And that, or, the contract that I signed with them. Yeah, you hear that contract?
You have a contract?
Well, when you sign it, they call it I forgot what they called it. They said, there's a life book. There's a book in heaven the book of life. Your book of life.
Yep.
And in order to have your name in the book of life, you have to have your name in the book of the church.
Wow.
So,
okay.
I didn't really get a chance to read anything. They just really stated it all.
To read the fine print?
I don't even know if there was fine print.
Okay.
And I grazed through it. I just seen where it said write your name, write your, birth date and social, I think.
Yep. Okay. So what you're telling me is there is a little bit of fear just of what...
I'm not trying to get sued and then be able to be in debt for 10,000 years of my life.
And it's unfortunate that members wanting to come out, wanting to speak about just their experience have to fear that. And again, I just say that's not something that people that who are involved in the church of the living God, the church that Jesus established, that's not something they should have to worry about. And so that's very telling about the World Mission Society, Church of God, and what really is at the heart of this organization. And it's not love, it's not humility, it's not, Jesus said, repay your enemies with blessing. He says, do good to those who persecute you. And so, it's just unfortunate that they don't obey that standard.
It's a business that is ran by people who don't know anything, and they're told what to do. And then they tell the unders what to do, and the unders tell the unders what to do, and then the unders tell the unders what to do.
Yep.
And then we get down to people like me, who is like this.
Okay.
Like, I'm barely anything, but it feels like even though I'm nothing, I even besides the church, I'm nothing regardless, but even in the church, I'm nothing. Like, I'm just a brother.
Yep.
You know? But I always make sure that I'm around. Even when you don't think that I'm around. Because I had to play, I had to play stupid in this church in order to be able to be happy. Because whenever I spoke or whenever I said anything, they took it as disregard. You know, masters, stop it, type stuff. And I was like, wow, I just gave some information that just went completely ignored. We're going to go with his, because his is not smarter than mine. He just been here longer, so I want to listen to him more. And yeah, I don't know where I got with that story, but I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
That it's I don't know, man. It's tough.
You don't get a good vibe from your experience.
No, not at all. And
okay.
It's sad to say, back to I'm sorry to keep going on the subject, that, you know, I don't feel safe around them when it comes, because when they come at you, I've seen a glimpse of them when they get angry.
Yeah.
And it's not like type stuff. It's just like a father to a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You really let me down, son.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't have time for that. I don't want
passive aggression.
Yeah, like, it's like, wow, you should really have not done that. I'm just like, wow, you sound like you're out of a movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you felt like that. I didn't mean to cause you something.
Yeah.
Because I know you didn't feel anything.
Yeah. So, for people that didn't watch the last video, the part 1 of the interview with you, I would say, you know, make sure you go back and watch that before this one. But you 100%. Have been a member since August 2019. August 1st, 2019. Okay. Mm-hmm. So a number of months, and now you're wanting to get out. And so maybe just, again, you shared a few reasons about what really is leading you to want to get out, but just this might be kind of a repeat, I don't know, or maybe you could go a different direction than you've already gone, but maybe just really quick, just kind of give us some just a really quick explanation of why it is that you are wanting to get out of the church at this point.
Just I'm boiled down. I don't know if I clearly stated it in the last session. It's mechanical. It's not real.
It's not real.
It felt artificially influenced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like from the background sat a woman who probably doesn't know half the time what's going on. It was just going, like, putting things in business and putting things in work. And all her little men, all the deacons and the missionaries, I feel like they're the insights of the church, and they go report back to pastors, and they go report back to higher ups, and the higher ups go to higher ups, and the higher ups go to mother. I'm gonna keep on doing that throughout this whole thing. And it's honestly, it just all feels artificial. Once again, I'm gonna say this. Just in case I do decide to, forget it, real the face, I don't care. A middle name. I don't feel no negative ways towards anyone. Yet y'all have rubbed me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done some things that just seem questionable.
So one thing too that in the last video we kind of got onto the topic of the gospel and basically like how this organization functions as far as like, is it a grace-based system versus is it a works-based system? And so you said something that really was interesting to me that maybe I want to hear a little bit more on is I talk about in Romans where Paul specifically and clearly talks about how salvation and righteousness is a gift. It's something God gives to us freely. It's not something that God says, you can have this, but you do your part, and maybe someday, you'll fully have it. But what you said is that under this organization, as again, according to your experience, it's you feel as if it's more treated like you haven't even got the gift yet. Like the gift is there, like God has the gift, but he's waiting to fully give it to you until you kind of do your part. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and honestly, it feels like my dad. Like like how it looks to, I'm gonna relay it off of things that I go through, I've went through. My dad, he used to like dangle things over my head. Like you want this, you want these new shoes, and go do good at school. And get off the street, stop doing bad. And I used to be like, I don't even need those shoes. I can go get 2,000 more pair. But as soon as you come into the church, you're like, edit this, put eternal life right here.
Yeah.
Put eternal life.
Yeah.
Heaven's kingdom, stars and everything. You gonna want that. You don't want this though. Hell, fire. You don't want none of that. So, of course, you're going to be like, all right, what I got to do to get that?
It's pressure, yeah.
Yeah, what I got to do to get that? Come on, let's do this. It feels like a business.
Yeah.
It feels like when you start working at McDonald's, you are the grunt. And you look at the manager, the manager's cool. He, does this, does that. He can just come in whenever he wants to, does that. And you want to be that. That's how it is in the church. You come in and you're
the grunt.
You're basically the grunt. You're just the brother. That's Brother Master. And I just dropped my name. That's brother. This is the brother. But you look at the deacon, and you even look at some of the older brothers. You're like, wow, like y'all are like, you're trusted by the deacon. You're trusted by pastor. You have some higher status. So you must be doing something that pleases God more than I do. I want to be like you. I got to be like you in order to make it. In order to be in this church, I have to be like you.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I'm just not that person. I feel not the need to follow you.
Yep. So tell me from your perspective, again, as a technical current member, I would tell you, I feel like if somebody comes up to me and they say, what do I have to do to know? Like right now, I want to know that if I die, I'm going to go into the presence of God. He's going to forgive me. He loves me and he accepts me. What must I do in order to know that if I die today, I'm going to be saved? What I would tell that person is, look, this is what Jesus said. Like he said, believe in him and you will have eternal life. He said, believe in him. And I believe that includes a turning away from, turning away from a lifestyle of sin. And that doesn't mean that you're going to walk perfectly. It just means that in your heart of hearts, you're committed to following, you're pursuing after him, you're taking up your cross and following him. But at the core of it, I tell that person, like right now in this moment, you can choose to trust in Jesus Christ. You can believe what he said about himself and about what that means for you. And then God will give you a spirit and you can know right now that you already have eternal life. So let me ask you and put on your member hat when you answer this question. Okay. Okay. There you go. Okay. Let's say I'm an unbeliever. I don't know anything about God, about the Bible. You've got the truth. Can you tell me? I want to know that if I walk away today from this conversation, I get in a car wreck and die, I want to know that I'm going to heaven. Is there any way I can know that?
Matthew 7:21-23.
Okay.
There's not a specific way that you're supposed to act in my sight. There's not a specific way that you're supposed to act, talk, even necessarily in some reasoning belief. As long as you believe in God and with all faith, you know that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. And of course, in factions, go be a witness. You know, if someone comes up to you and says, you know, I don't know what to believe, like, you know, just believe in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, you know, is testified in the Bible. The Bible has always been there. You know, since Jesus Christ walked this earth, even before Jesus Christ walked this earth, when it was Jehovah, there's always been at least one part of the Bible, and there's always been someone who could testify the facts to this Bible. But unfortunately, in the society that we live today, there's been multiple people, quote unquote, that can testify about the Bible. So now we're in a standpoint where, you know, even me as of a standpoint right now, I'm like, I don't know what to believe in no more, especially because of the church. It's came to that point where I'm like, I don't even know if this is true.
Okay.
I don't even know if the Bible, when I open it, it's facts anymore. Simply because
what you've seen and experienced.
What I've seen and experienced, and the fact that they were able to twist the Bible to meet their exact standards. That baffles me. That makes me flabbergasted. I'm like, y'all were able to really like bring something, you know, and props to y'all. Like, y'all did y'all thing. Y'all got a heck of a business now. I've never seen something came off the ground like this. This is better than Joel Osteen. This is better than Joel Osteen.
They're making good money, huh?
Yeah, they're making some. I'm pretty sure they're making some pretty good guap there. Yeah. Imagine all the rich people that they're getting 10% from. You know, I'm nothing. That I make $700 a paycheck. That 10% of that's is $70. But still, at the same time, like, y'all getting $70 times 1 million. You're making stacks. You're good. Like mother, you're sitting pretty decent right now.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like 10%, I know goes straight to you, and whatever you decide to do with it is on you.
Yep.
You know, you can donate it, you can do it. And I'm not saying mother's just this maniacal woman who's, you know, bent craze on, you know, just getting money.
I would say that.
She goes and she does. I have seen her go out and, you know, do work, you know, in the community and stuff. I think I know. Off record real quick. I asked this question and it was proven wrong. I asked, has mother ever left Korea? And someone said no. The day mother leaves Korea is the day that father comes and we're going back to heaven. I said, okay. All right. So then they showed us this video of community work. And there was a lot of Americans, like even people who weren't part of the group, they were going to help other Americans. And if I'm not mistaken, I seen mother with this group of Americans in America helping. So, like, you lied to me, but I'm going to let it go because I don't know if you knew at the same time. But then again, you lied to me, dog. Yeah. You lied to me. You lied to me, dude. So you telling me father has already came? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So let me ask you this, maybe make this question a little bit more personalized to you. As you've kind of experienced the church, you've been walking in it, do you feel like you've been able to have like a sense of confidence that you're good with God? Do you feel like you have a sense of like, man, I'm good with God. I know where I stand. I know that if I die today, I'm good. Or do you feel like what this group has produced in you is more of like doubt and fear and like, am I really good with God? Where do I really stand with God? What do you?
That's the second one. Honestly, it's like I don't know. You know, I'm sitting there now on a day-to-day basis, like, man, I'm sitting there playing Fortnite. Am I going to go to hell for this?
Yeah.
Man, I just listened to Chris Brown 2 seconds ago. Am I finna, if the world goes to crap right now, I'm finna die, ain't I? I'm going straight to hell. Like, everything that I do now has been absorbed with me going to hell.
Yeah.
And that's another key factor as to why I stopped wanting to go. I don't want to think like that.
Yeah.
Day by day, base
Just
by
living
base,
in
like
fear.
I'm just living in fear of going to hell.
Yeah.
That, what key alone would probably drive someone to suicide.
Yes, absolutely. And it's interesting that, I actually just made a short video talking about like the difference between like good kind of fear and bad kind of fear. And so the Bible is always against like a fear-based, like we're not supposed to live our lives doing good works, doing good things because out of fear of hell. Like, obviously there should be a healthy fear of the Lord, but that should be wrapped up in knowing how good he is and loving he is. And yes, there's a sense of knowing that there's judgment, but again, this goes back to...
It's more of a fearful respect.
A fearful respect, yeah. And it's between... Like, it's a trusting thing, right?
I will never cross you. I will never cross you, and I hope that in return you see me fit because I'm not anybody. I'm a speck of dust to God.
Yep.
So I respect you and fear you as my Lord and Savior, and you can strike me down at any second.
Yep.
So that's all I can ever ask for. I'm not going to ask you to do any more for me. I'm asking you simply to let me live.
Yeah.
Day by day.
And this all kind of comes back to the differences of the gospel, because the gospel that I believe in and that I believe the Bible clearly teaches is one that the gift of salvation is something we're given up front. And so do you feel like under this system, the world mission society, that the gift of salvation is something you're given up front? And then the
gift of being saved is something that is literally earned in the church.
Earned. Okay. That's what I was wondering if you'd say that.
It's earned.
It's earned.
Literally, it's. I wish this was the Bible. It's the 144,000.
Yep.
And then the great multitude.
Okay.
They say strive to be the great. The 144,000. They say don't strive to be the great multitude, or you won't make it.
Okay.
So what happens if you're the 144,000? You won't die. You won't see death. You'll literally just float up to heaven.
Okay.
And the great multitude is people who will die, but they get to come to see the kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
And I don't even know if that's true at this point. But sorry, let me just get that off of your face. I don't know if that's true at this point, but I was always trying to strive to be 144,000.
So you were working. You were trying to. And the system, what this system produced in your life is one that made you feel like you had to work to earn God's approval.
100%.
Okay. So I want to read this. This is Romans 4, where Paul says, "Now to the one who works, his wages are not counted as a gift, but as his due. And to the one who does not work, but believes in him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is counted as righteousness. Just as David speaks of the blessing of the one to whom God counts righteousness apart from works." So that's kind of confusing language there, but basically what he's saying is that the gospel, salvation, the way God gives it to us is not on the basis of works. He says that it's a gift, and a gift is something that, like if I give a gift to my son for his birthday, I give him a birthday gift. I'm not going to say, now you need to go and clean your room, and you need to do your chores, and you need to go and write a letter of appreciation to me and do all these things, and then I'll bring back the gift out later and you can actually play with it. If I do that, it's no longer a gift. It's no longer a gift that I've given him. Rather, what I've done is I said, I've now given you a job. And there's wages, like
here's the terms and agreements.
You're going to get a paycheck. The paycheck for you doing your part is going to be, you're going to get this gift, this thing that I bought. But Paul says, if you're operating,
you haven't even seen the gift.
You haven't even seen the gift.
You haven't even seen the gift. You're sitting there like,
what is it? Really? Where is it? Yeah.
What is it? What? Can I see it?
Yes.
Can I smell it? Can I just look at it?
Yeah, just get a glimpse. And Paul says, like, that's not the way this works. He says, clearly it's a gift, right? It's salvation. Yeah. Righteousness is something God gives as a free gift. And again, I'd say that's why the gospel is good news. because it doesn't produce a lifestyle of fear and trying to fearfully work and earn something from God. Rather, it's we respond to God in love and obedience because of what he's already given to us.
Yeah, 100%, man. See, I find myself acting like I don't know if it's an atheist or someone who doesn't believe but believes.
Yep. Agnostic, maybe.
Yeah. Agnostic is I believe in God. Like I know Jesus Christ is like God. Like so. Like that's nothing I question. But I'm like at the same time I'm like, where's the pattern fall as to what happened in the Bible? This can be off subject real quick.
No, that's great.
To talk real quick.
Yeah.
I believe that because of the World Society Church of God, what they've embedded in me and my own little digs that I also did, I noticed that after Jesus Christ died, it seemed there was a lot of faith in the beginning, but then it after where at. I want to say after Paul, it seemed in my eyes dwindle the faith. It seemed to show how little faith each and every other one had, and that threw me for a curve because even when we look at the Bible, I can honestly just tell that Galatians wasn't written by God. Galatians was written by Apostle Paul. James wasn't written by Jesus Christ. It was written by James.
Right.
It was written by but of course it was all influenced by God.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take those words and you have the same feeling as you have today, and then go try to relive that moment, I don't know. There's a lot of things that
you have a lot of questions.
If you don't mind, man, after this, can we just have a conversation?
I'd love to have it. You know what? I think that's one of the main things I wanted to get into. I just want to hear where you're at now. I want to hear about your doubts because I know that so many people are in your shoes right now. So many people that I think will watch this are in the same place that are like, the world Mrs. Society has just messed me up as far as it relates to the Bible. And I don't know what to do with it. I can't make sense of this. Does God even exist? If he exists, how do I follow him? And so dude, that's honestly, that's one of the greatest passions of my heart for why I'm making these videos, because I want to sincerely help you guys. We're making these videos. One of the scariest things to me is thinking that we're making these videos and all we're accomplishing is that we're getting people to stop going to the World Mission Society Church of God. Because that honestly is the farthest thing from our goal. We want people to stop going there because we believe it's ruining people's lives and we believe it's false. But I'm fully convinced that Jesus Christ is who he said he is. And I believe that you and so many other members were drawn to the World Mission Society because they were using the Bible, and there was something, there's a sense in every human being that we know God is real. And I think when we encounter the Bible and we see stuff in it, it's there's something unique about the Bible. There's something true about the Bible. The teachings of Jesus are they're incredible, and they stand out from any other historical figure, just as the good and beautiful things that he taught about love, about being a person who would accept and love somebody like your little sister. And so I think God's not upset and angry that you and others get caught up in groups like this. But again, what I'm trying to get at is that my goal isn't just to get people to stop going, but to help them to get into this relationship with God that you're really desiring. That people in the World Mission Society, that motivation, the same energy that you had to go into the World Mission Society of God, or World Mission Society Church of God, I think is good motivation.
Find that same passion to actually go, chase the truth. The
truth, yes. And Jesus said, "I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life."
100%.
So I'm saying all that just to say, I want you, I'm just glad that you're being real. I want you to be real and honest about where you're at. I want people to be real and honest, and I think God wants people to be real and honest with him.
I can't honestly, even in the outside world, I have a hard time taking it.
Yeah. So I can tell that about you. Yeah.
I'm gonna just go ahead and just tell you how I feel.
Yeah.
Man. Even when when it comes to like, I'm not trying to like put like all the business out there. I'm like, I don't want to, I'm gonna try to beat around this bush, but I'm a 9 times out of 10 go ahead and just say it.
Say it how it is.
There's no point in hiding anything because regardless, as if it's now or later, it's going to come regardless.
Yep.
So if I'm the person with it in my hand and I have the choice between revealing it and concealing it, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to throw it far in the air like a dove spreading his wings, and I'm going to just go, be free! Little bird, be free! I'm going to let that thing loose, man. I'm not, I don't like to hide things. It's
good.
Not my palette of things.
That's good. Well, just lay it out, man. I want to hear, how do you feel right now? How do you feel about God and the Bible? Where are you at with it?
I've had this discussion with my mom. I think I might just become atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in God, but there's a double side of that sword. I believe in God, but I'm a purposely become atheist.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's tiring.
Yeah.
This was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
I've had it.
Yep.
Like I've like I told you in the previous session, I've been to multiple different communities, different belief systems. And the fact that Warminster Society Church of God brought something different to the table, flipped it, made it sound good,
and excited you. You thought maybe this is the right way.
This is the good. This has to be it.
Yep.
There's you can ask my mom. Right hand to God, I've never felt so correct about something in my life.
Yep. And
the fact to hear someone say things that are factual and can just dismantle everything in such a fashion that I can't even get upset with you. I can only love you. Because I thank you for doing everything that you've done. Mm-hmm. You just brought me to the truth. Mm-hmm. You brought me out of the falseness and into another truth. There's multiple truths, and it's a whole lot of psychological warfare that goes along with this. Because a weak-minded person, I felt like everyone who has walked away from the Warminster Society Church of God is a strong person, individual, and I feel like they've probably received blessings galore in God's eyes for being able to step down, realize the falsehood, because even in, what was it, Matthew chapter 7, verse 19?
Yeah.
About the sheep and... Or the wolf in sheep's clothing?
Yeah. Somewhere, I think it's before 19 maybe, but maybe John 10.
Are you sure? It's like a verse right above Matthew 7:21, verse 23.
Oh, Matthew. You're talking Matthew.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it is Matthew 19.
It might. I don't know if it's Matthew chapter 7, verse 19 or not, but it says, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. And, the hardest thing to do is put on the skin of that wolf. Because the only way that you can discern a wolf from a sheep is to actually know what a wolf looks like. And you're going to have some people just have to put on that. You're going to have to put on that wolf clothing to understand what it looks like.
And you feel like that's what you did?
I know that's what I did. I've been through a lot of harsh realities in life. I've been through so much stuff in my lifespan of 19 years old. I know that's not old. That's not, anything. But, I've been through so much. I've been through like homelessness. I've been through, getting shot at, getting hurt, almost dying, almost, going through a lot of stuff. So, the fact that, I felt like that's what they pull on. Because every time I've asked someone about their life story in there, it's like a hardship. There's only been like a few instances where I'm like, they're just like, I ran into it. I thought it was like, I thought this was, the correct way to go. Mm-hmm. But 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah. And then I was like on the streets. I was like bad. I was gang banging. I was doing all this type of stuff, and I wanted to, stop it. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's where they pull their strings, and they're like, oh, we got him. Yep. There it is.
Yep.
Come on, shake that water off, bud. And smack you down, and morph you into.
Mold you up. Yeah.
Come on, put your little tie on. There we go.
Yep.
Put your slacks on. There we go. Yep. Yeah. Now you're a brother. Mm-hmm. 10%, and go preach now, and don't come back until we give you your gift of heaven.
Yeah. Now go and work. Yeah.
Go and work. And then when you bring, oh man, that's what kills everything the most. When you bring stuff up, like when you're like, yeah, man, I preached to like 10 people today. I preached to like 13. I preached to 7. We literally preached to, in the city I'm at, I can promise you that we've preached to everyone at least once. We kept track of how many people we preached to. Simple means like you let them see the banner of WMSCOG Society. Man, that it drives me irritating, the fact that I sat in the cold with a sign just to say, come to the WMSCOG Society Church of God. And I sit there now, I had to eye track cars of each individual person that just made eye contact with this board or even looked in this general direction. I can, man.
So the amount of wasted time just kind of bothers you right now.
And I haven't even been there for a long time, so yeah. I know the feeling of Jordan. I know the feeling of all the other people who spent their life in this church, believing that Father's coming soon. Yeah, that's where when you said it all boils down to, that's what it boils down to. There's a fear that Father is coming soon. That it makes everyone irate. Oh, well, I got to keep preaching. I got to continue to go because Father's coming soon. Father is coming soon. It's like that's the program. Yeah. That's the major chip. That is the motherboard. Yeah. Of the whole system. Like as soon as you plug it in, it's
and that's what's sending people on their fear-driven, works-based pursuit of working and exhausting themselves, doing all this stuff, putting in the time, giving their tithes to hopefully avoid Father's wrath.
To avoid the wrath of Father. Yeah. And I'm letting you know this, off record. I can't wait. This is sad to say. I'm not going to say this because that's just wrong. How can I clean this up?
For Mother to die? Is that what you're getting at? No, and I say that not to be mean, but
no, you said what I was trying to say.
I figured you were trying to say that, yeah. Well, honestly, and you're trying to clean it up, but there's a part of me, and I think it's righteousness, where, in my mind, I think you said this earlier, you don't feel like she's all that bad, and she's not going. I think that's an evil woman. How could she not know? She knows she's not God. She knows she's not God. And she knows she's going to die, but she's willingly deceiving all these people, letting them go living their life under the delusion that she's God, and she's allowing it. So, part of me, what I hope is that she repents and turns and finds forgiveness. But if not, if she doesn't, I hope. I'm waiting for the day that she dies, because I think on the one hand, it's going to shake a lot of people free from this.
It's going to shake. Listen, I spoke with blur this out because I'm going to just be real with you. I'm going to say names, but can you just
Well, I want to hear this. I want to hear this in the video, so say it in a way where I can keep it in. Because people need to hear this.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I had a conversation with one of the brothers that attended. We were at the mall and we sat down. I just told him I wanted to talk to him because out of all of the brothers, I felt like he was the one that he's genuinely funny at heart. He works with us, and his friends his friends told me about how he used to be. He used to be a hilarious person. He used to rap, he used to sing. That's all things I used to to do. And I sat down with him, I talked to him. I was like, what would you do if everything just hit the fan? What if Mother died?
You asked him that?
I said, what if Mother died? He said he tried to clean it up, but I could tell that he wasn't all the way warm to society. Mm-hmm. As soon as he said, in the Bible it testifies that Mother can't die, but mother were to die, and then he tried to clean it up. He's like, wait, it's not possible. I would be upset. I'd probably, I wouldn't stop talking to, all of the brothers and sisters, but I would strongly start, backing away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, facts. Facts. I can't even wait that long. I'm not about to spend 20 years of my life.
And waste it. Then that's good, because I would take, what I know is a fact is it's not a matter of what if, it's a matter of when. And so, and people can test me. You guys watching this video, mark this video, set it off to the side somewhere. You're going to be able to, I guarantee you will be able to come back to this video. Mother's going to die. She is going to die. This woman, Zongil Jah, will die. She's getting old. She's going to die in a matter of years.
70, I think she's 71 now.
Okay. Her time is numbered. It's going to happen. You can come back and test me, and you can remember I said that in this video. Okay. And so again, I said that, and we were laughing earlier. I'm not saying that to be offensive. I'm not saying this to be offensive and mean or to attack. No, you're fine.
No,
I'm saying this.
It was the way you said it after I spoke. I was trying to get it out. I was like,
I knew where you were going.
He was like, hold on. He was like, this was how you was. He said, hold on.
You can do it.
All right, hold on. When mother dies. I said, wait.
He just said it.
He just said it.
And I'm not afraid to say that. And again, we're laughing. I'm not saying that to be rude or offensive.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because I'm just trying to tell people how it is. She is going to die. She is a human being. And I want people like you to come to terms with that reality now, so that rather than wasting decades of your life and then she dies and then you're like, oh, man, I wish I would have listened to him when he said she's going to die and would have gotten out then instead of wasting 20 years of my life.
20, 30. There's people that's been in this church since they were born. And that was back when Father was walking this earth. There's people that have been in this church their whole life.
Yeah.
Has never experienced anything outside of Warminster Society Church of God.
Yep.
And when the harsh reality comes, it's gonna. There might be mass genocide in that church. Mm-hmm. There might
suicide.
Excuse this friend. No genocide. There's gonna be. I have a strong feeling. You can mark that. You can keep this right here. You can mark this. There might be that day, and it might spark something that fires everything off. And it's because of the simple fact that you are programmed and you know nothing else. Mm-hmm. But then after everything is said and done and everything snaps back into reality, you are now you're now master. You're now you.
Yeah.
And so,
you miss so much time of being you.
Go see the tens of kids or cousins and nieces that you just missed out on. Go see, your sister missing graduation. Go see all the success and fame that your family has risen up to. Go see all of this. Go see all of that. You missed all of that.
Yep.
You missed out on, and it sounds worldly to them. I feel that they're watching this already. Warminster Society, first of all, stop judging me. Second of all, before you say he sounds so worldly, he's stuck on the world, because that's exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say, they're going to be like, oh, he's still in the world. There's people that are attached to the world. We're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to see.
Yeah. That's all I can say, huh?
We're going to see.
Yeah. So I just wanted, and kind of going back to you talking about where you're at right now with God and how you're feeling about it. And honestly, I can't blame you for how you feel. I can't, I want you to know I'm not sitting here judging you. I'm a guy who I'm devoted to following Jesus. I'm in, and I'm weak, and I'm struggling. I struggle with that, but I'm in. And I'm sitting here hearing you say you're at the point of you're maybe going to the place of atheism, which, like you said, it'd be more like you believe in God, but you just don't really have the energy to follow him, which isn't really atheism. But
This is being lazy.
Yeah, being lazy. Yeah.
This is being lazy.
But I just want to tell you, like, one, like, I get that. I can sympathize with you. I don't judge you for that. And anybody who gets where you're coming from shouldn't. And further than that, like, I think also Jesus understands. Now, listen, I don't think Jesus wants you to go that way, obviously. But, you know, it kind of makes me think of the story of Lazarus dying. So Lazarus, you think about, you know, I'm talking about the Lazarus that died, and he had Mary and Martha, his sisters, who had called for Jesus. They said, come and heal our brother. He's sick. He's going to die. Jesus, it says he waited 3 more days to come. And so I bring up that story because when Jesus showed up then, after 3 days, he went to see Lazarus, and Mary and Martha were talking to him. They were upset. They were even frustrated with Jesus and said, why didn't you come earlier? And so Jesus wasn't angry. Like, he didn't like sharply rebuke them and say, he didn't slap them around. He just said, like, if you believed, you would see the glory of God. And then even at one point, he wept with them as they were weeping, even though he knew he was about to raise Lazarus from the dead. Okay, so the reason I bring up that story is because Jesus, he's a God who gets it. He gets human weakness. He gets human struggle. And I think, too, he gets the pain and the confusion that you've been through in your search and in all these false systems that have pointed you to a false version of God, that have twisted your mind. And so I don't think he's disappointed or angry or upset with you over that, or any member listening who's in a similar position with you, where, which is why, again, I just say, like, I get it. I get why you are where you're at. And I think Jesus gets it. I think he, you know, in Hebrews, it talks about how he sympathizes with our weaknesses. Like, Jesus walked in flesh and blood. He got what it was like to be a human. He knew what it was like to be mistreated and to be abused by religious people. Jesus walked on this earth and he was mistreated. The people who did the worst to him were religious people. The Pharisees that killed him. They, you know, you've had it bad by religious groups, by Pharisaical groups, which I would call the World Mission Society. It correlates to that a lot. Jesus had it even worse, to where they took him to the point of death. And so I would just say one thing I just want to encourage you with is just that the World Mission Society and Jehovah and God and the truth of the Bible, they're not one and the same thing. They're entirely separate. And I know that's hard. That's going to be a process for many people who have been in the church to be able to get freedom from thinking that way. But that is something I guarantee you God will give you, that freedom, that healing, to be able to know that there's different times in the Bible where the church was confused and people were coming and saying, you know, like in Acts 15, they're saying you have to be circumcised if you want to be saved. And the disciples show up and said, no, this didn't come from God. Like, this has nothing to do with God. This has nothing to do with something he said. And so in the same way, I'd say all these things, these bad things you've experienced, these negative experiences, the ways that you've seen people, the truth kind of abused, and them not even wanting your sister, you know, your disabled sister, having just a poor, a terrible view of her, that did not come from the living God. That has nothing to do with God. That has nothing to do with Jesus. That's these people pretending to speak for God. So yeah, I would just say, like, I would encourage you, like, I get where you're at, but I would encourage you to, just to not blame God for the weakness and the mistakes and the sin of men, in the same way that, you know, Jesus was abused and mistreated by men, but he continued to trust himself to God. And man, I would just say for people too, like, I get that it's going to be a process. Like, that's what I keep saying is, you know, it's not something that you'll get free from overnight.
Yeah, it's not something that's going to just be like, okay, I'm done.
Yes, exactly.
It was a little bit like that for me, just simple because I've not been there for that long, but I've seen enough to say that, you know, I'm cool with how I'm okay with, you know, I was okay with my faith before. Yep. And I'm still okay with my faith before. I'm glad, and you know, there's some knowledge that they've actually given me. I was like, I could use that. I could use that in life. You know, even you know, not believing, you know, that the God Mother, you know, my mother's teachings. You know, you can apply these to real life. You don't have to sit there and, you know, simply just apply these to the church.
Yeah.
You know, just, you know, do good. You don't have to walk around with a negative output on this earth, because no matter if you're gone or here, this earth is going to have to leave someday, scientifically.
Yep.
And no matter if you're like you don't have to be that person that has to be mean. You don't have to be that person that has to go shoot somebody. You're choosing. Now, sometimes it's a psychological issue, but not like that's one in a few. You as a human being, you can walk outside, smell the air, and say, "Today's going to be good."
Yeah.
Now, and you can take that and you can just do good. Like there's nothing more to it. Like you don't need a mother's 13 teaching to tell you that.
Yeah. And that actually kind of reminds me of something else that I think another point that I'd bring up is like, it's interesting that I think in practicality, you kind of want to become an atheist just because you feel like you're so burnt by religious organizations that have just done you wrong and steered you wrong and have turned out to be false. And so again, like I get that. But it's interesting too that like I think you're wise enough that you know you can't just deny the existence of God. Like that's
100% no.
Yeah, and so like on what you just said,
100%.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't. Every time I don't know how it works, but whenever like I start speaking, I don't know. This iPhone 11 is just crazy. Whenever I start speaking and you're speaking at the same time, it mutes you. So I think that you're listening, and then
no, you're good.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. So here's kind of what I'm saying, and I want you to know again, like I'm not trying to convert you. Like I respect your decision to go where you want. I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying to others. Like my encouragement would be, again, I want to give you something else to think about, because I know the kind of the knee-jerk response to an experience in a group like this has just burned you and caused you confusion and turned out to be false. Is just like, man, I'm just done with this God thing. Like I've tried it. It's not worked out, and I'm done with it. Like I get that, and I can sympathize with that. My encouragement would be to think about a few things as you're kind of making that decision. One would be going back to what you just said, which I think was so true about people can go out and do good. I would say that like apart from one thing is like, how do atheists have any foundation to go out and do good? Because if there's not a God, I think God is the only one who can really give any real purpose and meaning to doing good. And so that doesn't mean that, you know, atheists there's many good people that are atheists. Like I'm not saying atheists can't be good people. But what I'm saying is that at the core of it, like I've had to come to this point of, like, I'm speaking from personal experience, because I've had things, even walking in pursuit of Jesus as a Christian, I have times where I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this anymore. This isn't working out the way I think it should. God's not coming through in this way. I feel like he's ignoring me here. And all these confusing things that happen, which really we can look back in the Psalms and see that the psalmist can relate to that, where he's saying, where are you, God? What's going on? But he continued to trust God. But what I think
there was something in the Bible that said, you know, even if God doesn't choose to save me, I'm still
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, even if he doesn't save me. But what I want to say, just one thing to think about maybe is, and I'm telling you this because I've had to think about this in my own moments of like just being tempted to just throw in the towel on faith in God, is like what I have to come to terms with is like, if I do that, I feel like if I leave God, I'm also leaving any real reason to live a life of meaning or purpose or like morality. Like I'm married, I have kids. Well, if I forsake my relationship with God, what foundation, what basis is there now to remain a faithful husband? Or to remain Now, listen, I know that people have just an intuitive desire to do good, but like if somebody was to ask me, like if I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, I have no relationship with God, why are you why do you want to help people? Why do you want to, you know, help the old lady cross the street? Like at the end of the day, I can't really give a foundational answer to why. as a follower of Jesus, I can say, well, because I believe God is a loving God in heaven who loves me, and so if when I do good, I'm actually acting out in character with who God created me to be. Because God is a loving God, there's actually worth, there's actually real, true value and significance in this life. And so when I'm faithful to my wife, it's more than just like, well, I just want to be a moral person and we're all going to die and just go back to the dust. There's no God, there's no judgment, there's no anything, there's no real value to it. If that's the way it is, there's no real meaning to anything I do. If even I could choose to do good things or I could choose to do bad things. If there's no God, neither one really matters. There's not, there is no real right. There's no real wrong. Because without God, God's the one who has to be. You have to have a moral lawgiver to have moral.
In order to have any moral
objective moral standards. So I'm just saying, like, this is something I've had to come to terms with. Is like, if I leave God, if I leave faith in Jesus, I feel like I'm also at the same time I'm being forced to leave any real foundation I have in my life to live a life of significance and value, where I actually have a purpose and reason to pursue love for my neighbor or to pursue doing good things in life. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah. It's, how can I say this though? I don't know where I stand as of yet. I'm not
totally, and I don't want you to like feel like you have to. That I just want to give you things to go away from this conversation thinking about, and people listening. Like if you choose to go the way you want, and I'm not going to judge you and look down on you or anybody.
I don't not believe. I believe in God 100%.
Right.
God is the reason why I wake up.
Yes.
I fear God 100%. Like it's not here. Let me fix this. I'm starting to become slouched. It's not something that it's something that World Society Church of God was like a disease.
Yeah.
That once got rid of, like cancer. Like once got rid of, you just gotta find your groove again.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
You can't
just jump back in. Yeah. I get that. And that's why I keep saying, like, it's okay that it's going to be a process and it's not going to be like an overnight thing where it's like, oh, well, out of the World Mission Society into, another denomination. And it's like, what I would say too with that is like, it's not about a denomination. Don't join another denomination. Just figure out what it is. What does it look like? Follow Jesus, I'm
sorry. The way that you said it, I was like 100% yes. Do not join another denomination.
Yeah, man-made.
The last thing that I want to do is hear something out of someone's mouth that they said came from God, when really it came from a freaking man in a Korean woman from North Korea, and he just wanted money out of
exactly. Yes.
We're not going to keep talking about that.
Yes. And so that's actually, that brings up a good point of another thing that, like, as even followers of Jesus, I think, like myself, other people can relate to this, that there are those temptations and like where you have to stop and think, like, is this really the way I want to live my life? And those moments where you're like, man, like I could really just throw in the towel on this whole faith thing right now. But another thing I have to come to terms with is just kind of the question that Jesus asked the disciples when he said, who are people saying that I am? What are people saying about me? And then he said, who do you say that I am? And so, like, when I think about history, I look at the historical facts, and it goes beyond just like World Mission Society men and women making things up about religion and about Aung San Hong, and it's not made up things, but you go back and look at history, there's some historical data that shows us there was a real man named Jesus, lived in Nazareth, and history shows us he was crucified, and the best evidence shows us he rose again the third day, and his followers immediately started dying because they refused to stop telling people the truth that he had rose from the dead. He was God and he had brought salvation. And so I kind of have to come to terms with, and you have to come to terms with, and every individual listening has to come to terms with that question that Jesus asked. Who do you say that Jesus is? What are you going to do with Jesus? And that's why I say, don't go and join another denomination. You just answer that question personally for yourself, like, it's not about what are you going to do with Catholicism or the World Mission Society or Mormonism or Protestantism or any other ism. What are you going to do with the man, Christ Jesus, right? Like, what are you going to say about him? This man who our entire calendar system of his all throughout the world, the whole calendar system is based on this man's life, Jesus Christ, not Ong Song Hong, but Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, 100%.
there's something significant in figuring out how am I personally going to answer that question of. And that's what I encourage you to think about. And again, it's not an overnight thing. Like, as you're going away from this conversation, as you go into future weeks and months, you're leaving the church and you're figuring out, who am I? How do I adjust back into what I do with my life?
If I decide to be really bodacious, and say, you know what, put my face, keep the names, it's gonna put a halt in everything.
Yep. So yeah, I just giving you just some things I'm hoping, and I'm not talking only to you, I'm talking, partially to myself, honestly, and to other people listening, but
100%.
So yeah, I think kind of to wrap this up, I would just ask, like, what right now there's other people who are still in the church, who are still members and probably on the fence. What would you give as the biggest reason why you think members should reconsider staying in this group or think about leaving this group?
All right, look, you got a close up of my face, right? You see this? I'm finna hold on real quick. All right, in all seriousness, to any members that are in the World Society Church of God and that aren't even having like the slightest bit of doubt. Literally, I've heard this statement to me so many times. Do your research. Do your research. Don't go to another member and decide to ask them. It might sound snakish. It might sound shady. That's that Catholic stuff. Do your own research. Mm-hmm. For real, because how are you supposed to be able to know anything that is hidden if you don't seek it? You're going along on this blind mission that I wish, and spiritually, you all, even you, are all my brothers and sisters at the end of the day without this church. And I have a love for everyone, and this goes out to anyone. I have a strong love and passion for you. So I want to see you do better than anyone in this world. I want to see you do better than me. And this church is going to lead you on something that you're going to soon learn that it's the most worst thing that you've ever done. And I need you to get out of it.
Yeah, that's good.
I just need you to listen. Come out of the world society real quick. This is me and you. All right? I need you to listen. Every slightest little thing that you felt that was wrong, go on it. They literally are programming you to not feel those things. They literally have videos, and I'm in the World Society Church of God. I've seen the video that you've seen where they had the Korean girl that was tempted by Satan's followers to go and speak out on how one of the other sisters mistreated her. Instead, she had to suppress her feelings and just go say, I didn't appreciate that. Or I don't know why you said that to me, or something like that. And it's not the way to go about it. Go do some research and ask why. I love you.
That's great, man. I love that. I think that's the biggest thing, and it's so cool that you were willing to do the thing that probably in some ways was a little bit scary because they tell you you're eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But you're willing to say, man, like, I'm not going to waste my life not knowing for myself that this is true. And the thing is that the World Mission Society Church of God tells you don't do your research. The Bible tells you do your research.
Do your research.
When Paul and them, they brought the gospel to the Berean Jews, it says that the Berean Jews didn't immediately accept it, but they went away and they searched the scriptures to see if these things were so. So they went and they did their research. And the Bible commends them for it. It says it was a good thing. It was an honorable thing that they did good to go and research. It doesn't say that they were eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It just said it was good that they went and searched these things out. And so, God is a God who has given us, he gives us evidence and reason to believe in him. Now, then it requires us taking a step of faith and believing and trusting into him. But yeah, I just think that's a great encouragement that God is not against you researching these things and trying to figure out, is this really the truth? If it's the truth, then it can handle being searched out. If it's the truth,
if it's the truth, it should be able to battle and surface any obstacle that's in its way, any path. And so far, it might have seemed like it's doing good. It's it has everything handled. But once again, you do your own research and you'll clearly see and state in factual evidential proof that everything that they say has fallen against each other.
Yeah.
And now it's just a building that is collapsed on each other and just holding itself up by other things that it has said.
Mm-hmm.
But one day there's going to be that one thing that slides in the middle of there and just go ahead and tips everything up. And you'll see how everything was pleasantful for some people. I'm not going to say who, but some people, it's going to be a really fun experience to see.
You just cut out a little bit there. I'm not sure, but
oh, sorry, hold on.
No, it's fine. I got all but one little sentence. It just sounds like basically it's just that encouragement that, again, I think is really good, that people need to research and it's.
I'm glad you didn't hear the last part. I was doing a little big.
Must have been the sovereignty of God, but it's still it's.
You will fall, and I will see it.
It's along those lines. It's still somewhat shocking, surprising that you're even testifying. You didn't even know about Aung San Hong's book Against Mother.
I had no clue.
And that's exactly why.
I seen the video and I was like,
what
are you talking about, dog? What are you on right now?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me rewind this whole video real quick.
Yep. And that's why you're encouraging people to research, right? Because there's things like that. There's factual, evidential things that people need to know about. They deserve to know about.
Completely unseen.
Yeah.
I had no clue that this book's name existed, nor has this book ever even been here. I did my own research and I bit into the knowledge of forbidden fruit or whatever. And in the beginning, and I was like, I felt brainwashed because I was sitting there crying. I couldn't sleep because of what I saw. I was sitting there I was literally just I was sleeping. I had to go stay at one of the brothers' houses at that time. So I was on the floor and I was just balled up and I was crying. I was like, I feel like I just ruined everything. All of this has just crumbled.
You couldn't do it anymore.
I couldn't do this anymore.
So that's something I didn't ask you. How long ago was that? That was pretty recent where you kind of made that shift happen, right?
Oh, yeah. That was as soon as I got my own apartment. And I didn't have to stare at these people when I go to sleep. And I don't have to deal with those while I'm at work. Mm-hmm. And I can tell y'all, don't come to my house. I can tell y'all, don't pop up to take me to church. I can tell y'all, don't pop up to. I don't have a car, so I had to rely on them to get me to Sabbaths and get me to third days and all this. But now I can just say, I don't want to go, and I don't want y'all to come around.
Yeah,
it's not even a Band-Aid at this point. It's like a piece of super glued adhesive, unremovable tape.
And you're about to rip it off.
You just gotta I'm talking, you gotta grab it with pliers.
Yep.
Use your teeth, clench it. And just go ahead and just knock it. Because after you're done, after everything is said and done, it's gonna be better for you.
Yep. And it's type of adhesive that it's probably going to take chunks of you too, because it's taken chunks of your life, and that's
you're a smart man. You're a smart man. It's gonna leave little bits of chunks out your skin that you probably can't get back.
Yep. But God is faithful to heal that too, and I believe that.
Yeah.
And again, that's why that healing is going to be a process, but he'll heal that, and he's willing for anybody listening. He's willing to lead us into the true revelation of Jesus. He can do that in an instant, you know. He might just give you a dream where Jesus is like, he just clarifies everything, gives you, I don't know. However God wants to do that, but he will heal you, he will set you free, because he's good and he's loving. And he will do it apart from whether you're willing to go out and attend every Sabbath and preach every night and put in your tithe. That's not how God operates. God wants to heal us and set us free and do good to us simply because that's who he is. Because he's a loving God. His nature is love. He can't help but want to do good to us because that's who he is. And he doesn't base that on whether we're able and willing to do something for him first. That's the good news of the gospel. So rip that Band-Aid off, rip it off, and Jesus will heal you.
Remove that sticky tape adhesive.
Remove it.
Concrete. Just get it off of there, man.
Gorilla tape.
Gorilla tape, and just grab it by the handles and just rip it, man. It's an experience, and even to the people who are considering, even there's some people that are watching this video who are considering going to the church. You know, don't. It's you know, and honestly, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, talk about everyone, you know, because not all of them are bad people.
Yep.
There's actually some pretty cool people in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going there to experience love synthetically, if you just haven't felt love in a long time, I'm not gonna tell you stop. I'm not gonna tell you stop.
But stop.
But just stop. Don't do it. Just not.
Yeah. Yes.
That go find some genuine love. But there's people in there that also find them outside of that. You know, go just. If you ask them first before you say, I'll go to a Bible study. What you ask them, what church you go to? They say, well, Mr. Side, hold up, wait, nope, I heard about y'all. I'm good.
Yeah.
But you're a cool human being, and I'll still go play basketball with you, and I'll still kick it with you. But other than that, no.
Yep.
There's really good people in there, and I don't want them to feel like, I don't want anyone to feel like they're being slighted.
Absolutely.
Everyone's good, but. And
me and Jesse, we've sat down and talked to members they're just cool guys, and they're sincere, and they love the Bible, I believe, and so I totally agree. Like, I'm not trying to whitewash all of them as evil, and I think 99.9% of the members, just like you've already communicated, they're not willfully deceiving people and just spreading lies. Like, they genuinely believe this is true. The unfortunate thing is that it's just not.
Unfortunate brainwash.
And they've been deceived,
Yeah. So that's what it boils down to. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for anyone who I've ever talked to.
Yeah.
That I've ruined your day. About this, because there's been those times where I've tried to preach to people and they just were down and out, and I was about to lead them to falsehood. And I am absolutely glad that in this particular moment, every single person that I've ever gotten contacts for, like to call, check up on them, make sure they want to come study, they've never talked to me back, and I am happy for that.
Yeah,
I am perfectly fine with y'all not talking to me, because I am grateful that y'all knew. The
Lord saved you from that, from impacting people in a negative way.
100%. And
well, man, I appreciate your time coming on here, Tyler. Appreciate you taking the time to talk and just.
It's Master, man. I don't think I'm gonna have a name out of this.
Okay, point. Master.
I might change my opinion about this later, but as of right now, man, we're good.
I think that's the right decision. I think it's part of just ripping it off.
Yeah, that's what I was.
It's just ripping it off.
I'm looking at my hand. I'm like, man, this Band-Aid finna be tough as nails.
And I think, as you're ripping the Band-Aid off, I think God's got you. He's a good father. He's a good shepherd. And I think it's almost like a step of faith for you to just rip it off. And
I'm going to have to shut this down just a minute.
You're good.
You got your internet guy there.
Yeah, man, it's out here.
But yeah, I think again it just goes back to he's the one that's he's gonna provide what you need, and so as you're just ripping it off and making this video, I think that's a great thing to be doing. So just appreciate it.
Man, hey man, it's no problem. I actually appreciate you getting in contact with me.
Yep. And let's stay in touch. I'd like to hear how you're doing.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say, I definitely, I would like to study with you, actually.
Yeah.
Some stuff that you've actually, I don't know. Generally, I've wiped out the memory of any other thing that I don't think that I've actually learned anything besides what they've implemented into my brain. I would love to hear your side of, how you've interpreted the Bible and everything that you've been
I would love that. Yeah. Yep. I would love that. So
maybe like some other time, I'll actually keep in contact with you. Maybe we can set up a schedule because you're not that far from me, actually.
Yeah,
so
that'd be awesome.
Maybe we can, yeah.
We'd love that.
100%.
And we'd love that. So let's do it.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Well, again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.
And I hope you have a good day too, man. And God bless you, man.
God bless you.